Hello, welcome to the club. I'm your host Mars. This is the Upper 90 Club.
We did it.
I hold on to, and I can't help. Ben promised pitchiness, and he delivered.
Oh,
and so did the crew, guys. Congratulations to us.
Yay.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard, but what was it? Impossible is it's just your opinion,
man. Oh, it's great.
I think is how the quote goes. Welcome to the Upper 90 Club, a roundtable podcast where five friends relive the MLS Cup final, where we hosted the LAFC last night, and we're still buzzing. Some more than others. And
we just woke up.
It's
realistic.
You will hear in the voices.
I'm in the garage trying to find my way out.
Yeah. We will. It will not sound quite as nice as a Chris Doran or anyone.
It's going to sound bad, is what we're going to say.
Dulcet tones.
We sound
okay.
bad.
Yeah,
we sound rough.
Yeah. I just wanted to work in. I wanted to work in dulcet tones. I keep hearing that. With me in the club are Ben, Mort, Dre, and Haas. Say hey, guys.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Champion.
Columbus.
Yeah. So I hope we've invited a few friends on tonight, so hopefully we'll have some extra voices to hop on and talk about their experience with the game. But I know
we're
that,
just like, here's the link. Hop on when you can, if you want to. Everyone's like, no, I'm so sick. I'm so tired. I got so many of those. They're just like, I'd love to, but I don't want
today.
To. Don't blame me.
Today.
Yeah. Why not Tuesday at noon? That's when everybody's going to be able to hang out.
Right. Yeah. And so, that's when the parade will be. You guys all went to the game. I'm sad I was not able to join you, but I was able to watch the game. Tell me kind of about, were you all together ahead of time?
Oh, yeah.
What was the pregame like?
Except for Mort. I was so sad.
Yeah, I know.
You couldn't pass his kids off.
I couldn't pass my kids up. I was very blessed to be able to do this with my family, like my actual family and not my soccer family.
That's your Sunday night family.
Yeah. So no, that was the only thing that wasn't checking the box yesterday, was the fact that I didn't get a chance to celebrate with you all. But man,
and you're
fantastic.
You guys weren't. You and your family weren't doing shots.
I didn't say that.
So where were you guys ahead of time?
We went to Land Grant, hung out there for a couple hours, got some barbecue,
ate some Ray-Rays,
Ubered to the game. Got there at like 2:15.
Yeah. We got there right before the player bus came in, and went and staked out a spot in the 8th row in Nordecke, and
it was history. Yeah, it was packed. On the way walking in, we walked by like where the players were coming in, and as we were leaving, I heard a bunch of boos. I guess Garber had just gotten out of his car, and I was like, "Go get him, boys! Go get him!"
That and the shame chant.
The shame. Oh, that's what it was. It was the shame chant. That's right.
It's pretty funny to watch him just speak over like the boos.
Oh,
it's like
they had Weeby up there.
I wish I could.
Before he's
I
like,
wish
I
could
want to talk.
Hear his inner monologue during
for sure.
It's just like
I want more than the inner monologue. I like once he comes off the stage and gets behind a private closed door.
Yeah.
I just want to hear the tirade coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. So other than soccer commissioner legend Don Garber, did we see any, with LA in town, or other glitterati?
Dude,
were there any celebrity sightings?
You could spot the LA people a mile away. Like, picture in your mind's eye, like someone from LA, like born and raised in LA, and they were sitting to the right of Nordecke. It was ridiculous. Like, they'd come in, I'm like, okay, Kim Kardashian nuts. Get out of here. Like it was like the SNL funny thing, like take the subway or take the 5 down to
the
California people.
Yeah,
like what? they did not realize they were at an outdoor space. They were just like, where am I?
Yeah. So in the outdoor space, I saw that there was a lot of rain. Were you guys getting soaked? Or were you covered enough from the roof?
No,
50-50.
We got some sprinkles.
It looks like it was blowing into Nordecke though. Sitting from the side where we were sitting, I was blowing in there, but
hard. But we took it.
Someone got cheese rained on, but we'll get
cheese rained.
Yeah. And then I saw some pictures. I did see you guys found Josh Williams, right?
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
And that was after
halftime.
I want to hear about after the cheese was smeared on your shirt.
Yeah,
and face.
Oh, you mean my case?
Oh, you know,
wow!
I was going there. I had it on top of my notes. Mentioned kiss.
Yeah, I mean, it just total facial, just
in the podcast.
Oh,
in the podcast. That was we made it, boys.
So share the picture too, so that everyone can.
Yeah,
see
I'll share it tomorrow. I'm gonna share because I took so many photos and I want to relive this as long as possible. So I just said, hey, I'm gonna post one picture a day.
So what happened was right after this, our friend Mr. Justin Harmon had come into Nordecke. He'd gotten there, handed me a plate of nachos with the cheese, and I'm holding it, eating the nachos, and we score the second goal.
It happened so fast.
The guy in front of me jumps up, hits the whole plate of nachos, comes flying into my face.
Dude. Okay, and so the jersey that you were wearing was the I don't remember
the white tricolor Barbasol.
Late aughts. Yeah, it was like it has a white bottom.
Yeah.
And it's
very stainy.
The cheese, you will not get the stain off of that shirt. Yeah. So always remember that
for
game
a championship. I
from
don't
Yaya
care.
Boa. No, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna just go like spread cheese on mine. So like,
as one does.
I didn't want to clean my face off. I was gonna wear it with pride.
Yeah, there was on your mustache a little bit. And I was like, that's
and his
eyebrow up in the eyebrow.
You look like the Terminator, but with cheese.
Yeah. Get the cheese like tattooed to your face. I don't want to forget this moment. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that was good. So you saw Josh Williams. Too bad. I mean, we had talked about him like, coming in or whatever. I mean,
he was getting mobbed.
What was his take? What was he doing?
He was getting mobbed.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right before that, we saw Mensa, and I don't know him. You know what I mean? And I just walked up to him and just gave him a hug as if he was my friend. I mean, I was like 11 beers deep. Like I was ready. I was just like, I'm gonna love this guy. So I like went up and he just embraced it and like grabbed me. And then like I backed away and he like gave me a high five. He's like, gotta get that third. And then just like kept walking and just like hugging people. He smelled great. Oh, it was awesome. It was like right after that was Josh. Like,
Harrison Awful was also there too.
Oh yeah.
Pictures of him.
Man, so I've been wondering about this because you see such an outpouring of support from past players and past players that were on the team in February.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't know. It's pretty cool to see the support and I don't know. It'd be easy to say like you'd be salty.
We'll get into it, but man, it's like it's so much more emotional there. Like the amount of people that Nagby went around and hugged at the end of the game.
Oh man.
Like it was, I got a bunch of photos and stuff and I'm like, everybody's celebrating and he's crying, running over and hugging children. And I'm like, I don't,
children he knew.
Oh no.
But, I was
hugging children. I didn't.
I'm so glad it's raining.
Did anybody see that on TV, the celebration? He was holding it together. And then Morris walks up and you just see his face. He just loses.
Oh, yeah.
It lost it right there.
It was like a switch.
Yeah, it was a switch went on. It was awesome. So awesome. So much emotion.
Okay, so let's kind of jump into the game here. Real quick, look at lineups. I mean, we're running with the same starting lineup that we have for the last 3 games, I think. Just notably that Farsi still got the start. Anything else to note on lineups?
I don't think so.
I think they rolled out the same lineup too, so it was just like ready to go.
It's exactly what we wanted to see. I mean, no changes, roll it out. It's been tried and true and working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then I don't know, like I felt like we were playing our game. I saw some just astounding but not surprising based on style of play possession statistics throughout the game. I think we held pretty strongly in the high 60s or 70s at times.
Yeah, and that was even with LA is or at least against Houston and other teams that are a high possession. Their line of confrontation, like where they go to press, usually is like midfield. They like give you all the space in the world and pack it in. This game, it was like I think, oh goodness, who do we got here?
Oh, Darby.
We've got a millionaire.
But yeah, before we continue talking about our run of possession, Darby from Aces Radio and from recent multi-thousandaire fortune.
He's calling us from his gold yacht.
Darby has just joined. Congratulations to you, to the crew, and to your record on Tipico bets. Darby, welcome to the club.
Oh, thank you very much. Guys, what a day, right? Like, was that, putting any betting aside, that was just an epic experience that I'm still wrapping my head around.
Yeah.
There was, it occurred to me that, we've hosted 3 MLS Cups now, and this was the first one I got to see a victory in person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully the first of many.
Yes.
There was some anxiety before the game. Like, I was just thinking about what happened, and I know we don't like to talk about 2015, but it was just like such a downer to not even really get to your seat even before the scoring started. Yeah. Of course, it did not unfold that way, and it never would have. But and then 2020, I don't know what they just like. It's like
1,500 people.
Yeah. So tell us kind of about your game day experience. Who was your what was your moment of the match?
I will say, I don't think there was like as clear cut an MVP as the league would like in moments like this.
Agreed.
And it's not a knock on Cucho. He obviously had a great game. His goal started everything off for us, but it was just such a team effort in that game.
Yep.
How about the crowd?
Probably the best. The crowd was fantastic.
MVP.
Yeah. So I was on the south end, and I will say all credit to the LA traveling fans. They came in numbers. They came loud. They were doing their best on their part. I caught a little bit of that beer shower. After they scored, which was it was a little bit. It wasn't. I've gotten worse from Toronto fans in the past.
Those were tears.
I don't ever enjoy things like that. Drink your beer, don't throw it. But
Darby, what was
we won?
What was the representation of LA fans like? You said they came out in numbers, but like, was it a couple thousand?
From Nordecke, it looked like it was about 750 or 1,000 because they were the whole top above like where Darby.
Yeah, I think they were essentially that top part. And of course, in a game like this, it's tough because I think they were predominantly wearing black as fans.
Yeah.
So just casually looking around, you can't automatically tell because there's their crew.
Most coats are black.
Most coats are black. Most coats are black. Yes.
We've determined that is not a controversial statement, although it feels that way. So, all right, and so then we mentioned your fortune. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but you placed a modest bet on the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl in 23 and the Crew winning the MLS Cup final in 23, and both came to pass. And so, how did you celebrate your winnings?
Scrooge McDuck style.
Well,
like,
the funny thing is, like, you're all like, oh, I instantly have this money, but it's like I had to get into Tipico and then transfer the money from Tipico to Venmo. And then once it's in Venmo, transfer it to my account. But Venmo's like, you can't transfer more than $3,000 in a transaction. So, it's going to look like I'm money laundering or something, right?
Oh, 100%.
A series of even number deposits in my account.
It bothers me too every time I transfer $3,000. Every time.
The IRS, man. Don't forget that you have to pay big taxes on that too, right? So.
Yeah. Somebody was like, "Oh, yeah, my friend who's an accountant or whatever is like, make sure to keep track of your losses to balance out the winnings for tax purposes." I'm like, I don't think that's gonna quite work, but I appreciate where you're coming from.
Awesome. Well, so and then where did you go after?
After the game, we went to Endeavor and hung out there. As the spiritual home of Save the Crew, that's always a spot I want to go hang out at. So
we should have
basically had Africa on a loop.
Oh gosh!
Did you buy your round?
I did not buy my round. There were too many people there. Honestly,
that's smart.
No, wait. I didn't say the first time I went to Endeavor.
All right, everybody.
I bought my friend a drink who was at the bar with me. Left a nice tip for the bartenders, but. Yeah, no, I'm still trying. I do have. I think my money gun is coming from Amazon tomorrow.
Good,
so I can load that up with singles and just spray the crowd.
I'm down for it.
Still trying to figure out what I want to do with that. So
cool.
It never really seemed real since it's been riding for so long. I went back and looked at some conversations with friends, and there were. Talks back in like April about, I could cash out now and come out a little bit ahead. It was like $288 or something, like, oh, that's a tiny little profit. Yeah.
It was 288 defenders ago also. It was like, it seems like when I think back at like how different we looked yesterday to how we did at the beginning of the season.
So what's going to be the name of your boat? Because you have to name your boat. You can't not name your boat, Darby.
I think. Well, I'm going to become investor operator of the GCG barge. I think I loved when they were talking about having a floating party boat that would go down the river to the stadium. Of course, the river's like 3 inches deep at this point because of Yeah. Yep. But it'll be great in the 30 seconds before we run aground. It'll be epic.
You should get a beater one, paint it, and then have someone tow it every single game.
And then you can launch it from the boathouse, buy out the boathouse, make it the new club for pregame, postgame party.
Oh, that would be awesome.
GCG bar with the GCG barge.
Oh, that is beautiful. In fact, if there are any angel investors out there who want to drop in, if you're burnt out with all the the tech failures these days, get into this concept right here. Get in on the ground level.
So Darby, like, since this is your first win in person, what sticks with you? What's going to stick with you after yesterday?
I mean, just the feelings. The atmosphere was fantastic, but it was one of those where we weren't sitting in our usual seats just because that's how MLS Cup works, and so you're high-fiving strangers, and I had tears running down my face, and just I want that feeling every year, and I realized we probably can't do it every year, but as soon as the whistle blew, I was like, I want to sleep for a month, and then I want to do this again.
Yeah.
I told that to my kids. I said today, take it all in. There's people that are older than me that have never gotten to experience this and be following teams. We're talking Browns fans and whatever else that exists, right?
Yeah.
How blessed they are.
It's never going to get easier.
Yeah. How blessed you are to be here. Take it all in, win or lose. Just be in the moment. And man, my son at the whistle just start bawling, just held me like, Finn has all the emotions.
Yep.
You guys know that.
Yeah.
So he's just holding me tight. He's 9 years old, Darby, and he was like bawling, just holding me like tight for like 2 minutes. It was
Dashboard
awesome.
confessional.
They've been watching with you throughout the season.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
He's been to pretty much every game with me.
More than just like come watch this game. Like it's awesome to hear about how they've gotten invested and involved.
Yeah, they're blessed. They're lucky. Very lucky.
Yeah.
So am I.
All right. Well, so we were just talking about the game. Darby, if you want to hang and chat, you're welcome to. Otherwise, you're free to drop. But
Go sleep for a month.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I think I'll bounce. I love talking to you guys for a couple hours last time, but I'm not up for this level of podcasting. We did a full episode even without Morgan that went, nearly 3 hours.
Yeah.
I think we might do a wrap up this week, depending upon how schedules work. So,
and I thought I was the long-winded one.
Podcast muscles.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And also, Aces has been on 3 weeks in a row, typically a monthly installment. So thank you for your service. It's like you guys run real long, and it's great to hear you guys every week. So if our listeners haven't heard Aces, go check it out. And thanks again. Congratulations on your win and our win. Good seeing you.
All right, you
Go
too.
Crew.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Darby. Later, Darby.
Go Crew.
He was broadcasting with like way better internet now, and his background was made of like tinsel. He's rich. I'm talking Scrooge McDuck rich.
I have a feeling like are we gonna have like an adjusted for inflation problem where we find out that like you like way oversubscribed on the I'm thinking like what was that movie called? Blank Check. Remember that?
Oh,
Yes.
It was like the best movie of all time. I was like, could be me. It's not gonna be me.
It's like I think his check was $1 million, but like the expenses shown far exceeded that budget. I'm just saying there were holes in the research on that one. All right.
Free Willy was there. Patrick
You
Schulte
ruined
was
it
there.
for me.
Yeah. I just, it was a great story. I just couldn't suspend my disbelief when I saw the size of the castle and the water slide coming out of the bedroom window.
When you were
Also
8 years old.
spoilers for all the people who haven't watched Blank Check back in the
Tone Loc, Miguel Ferrer, there were others.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Okay.
I don't know that.
She was not in it. No.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so we were talking about possession. Not surprised there. This is what we've seen. It's just almost more a byproduct of the way LA plays than the way we happen to be playing in this game. But I think we were playing our game and doing a good job. Our first goal came from a penalty in the box. It was a handball. Haas, talk through that one.
Yeah, so it was in the 31st minute, a handball by Palacios. In the box, Rossi was trying to juggle it, settle the ball down, and Acosta. Oh, sorry, that's a different note about the PK. No, it was Palacios, and so Rossi's trying to settle it, pops the ball up, he chests it, and it slaps off his arm, Palacios' arm. And then Cucho takes the PK. He takes it low, driven to the left corner of the net, fakes out the goalie, gets him to dive to the right. Fantastic PK.
Oh,
Yeah, it was. He's 100%, right? This year.
Yes.
And normally he gets his main thing is to like get the goalie to go the wrong way and kind of does it. But that was actually like a good placement and also like. And he got the keeper to go the wrong way. What's funny is he said afterwards he like normally isn't nervous, but that PK he was like I was so nervous, and you could tell because right before he did it, he normally doesn't do this. He like took you could see the breath
reset.
He was just like oh boy, and then he nailed it, and then it was just I lost it. Well, who we got here coming in? Mate, tip of the hat.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Lord.
How are we doing?
Doing well.
Welcome.
Great.
Phenomenal.
Well, everybody.
Sorry, I'm late, guys. Ben
Oh,
sent
you're
me a
good.
link and said just click when you're ready, and it turns out I had to download an app first.
Oh, really?
That was Pete. That was a totally different link. Well, don't tell him that. That's our link. That's our link.
So, Pete, we've spent the last 3 minutes talking about where you've been, but I'm glad that you're finally here. Just kidding. But so for our listeners, quickly introduce yourself. Then we want to hear about your game experience yesterday.
Yeah, so I'm Pete. I'm one half of New to the Crew pod. I do that with my wife, Mel, who would usually be with me, but she's sick right now. So she's mainly just sitting in the other room coughing. But she sends her regards. Do you want to know about the game yesterday?
Yeah. Tell us how you took it in.
Did your wife go?
Yeah, we were there together.
Super spreader. Yeah.
Nice.
It was such a blur. You asked me to come on here and talk about it, but I literally have no content to give you because I'm still taking it in. It was still a blur.
Yeah.
We started at 1, and she's 6 months pregnant, so I have my own driver right now.
I didn't know that. Congrats.
So, yeah,
congrats.
Thanks,
Pop Pete.
Yeah.
But it was incredible. We were in the same stand as always, which is the East Upper. Didn't get our usual seats, obviously, because of the way the tickets went. But we were on the halfway line, which was a whole new perspective.
Oh, nice.
And I've never experienced an atmosphere like that last night. It was incredible.
Yeah. Man.
And so this is, how long have you guys been following the Crew? I mean, you're new to the Crew. Is it just this season?
Yeah, I've got to take the scarf off because it's way too hot. I was saying to Mel, my wife, like, we feel like a bit of a fraud because we literally, this time last year, we'd never been to a game. We didn't know anything about the Crew. We started the pod purely because we moved to Columbus and it was a way in for us to get to know people. And our very first episode was called One Small Scarf because when you sign up with Crew, they give you a scarf. About this big when you sign up.
Thank you for joining.
It out in everything.
Well,
so,
I know who will be wearing that tiny scarf. It'll be baby Yaya Boa, who is 3 months.
Clever, Pete.
Boa's goal yesterday. That goal yesterday. The one thing I keep coming back to is that insane pass from Amundsen that went through.
Yeah,
I don't know how he did it. I don't know what it was. But as he did it, I was like, I would say jumped off my seat, but we didn't sit down for the entire game. The whole stand was standing the whole time.
I imagined that there was another Crew runner who held off to avoid being offside. Like it was a total blur, and he just appeared and drained that goal. It was incredible.
It was insane.
Well, that run,
I haven't gone back and looked at highlights or anything yet. I'm going to go back and do all that tomorrow, but it's just whatever's in here, which isn't much because I had a lot to drink that day. And
100%.
You know.
100%.
Yeah, rewatching it today, you could see Yeboah as what was it, like a 12 pass sequence or whatever number of passes it was.
Yeah.
Knock.
At one point, when the ball is about to get dropped back to Amundsen, you see Yeboah down on the bottom of the screen, just like waving his arms, like. Oh,
the best
that pass!
Part, you see him waving his arms and he disappears, and then you see the ball get played through from
Harry Potter Invisible Club.
But we've seen that ball before this year.
Awesome.
They look for that. They have scored on it once before the season, and we have been close a couple of times. So we are looking for that pass, and it was
the in behind.
But man, that was unbelievable.
The old in behind.
If I can say as well from yesterday, what obviously made the difference is having the LA fans there. The atmosphere, like, credit to them, they were, even at 2-0 down, they were still going.
Yeah.
And like from where I was sitting or standing, you could see like the light display and all the stuff they do, which I've seen on TV when I've watched some of their games, but they carry that through to the end. And it just made the stadium, everyone else react to that. Like where we were, everyone was singing. As far as I can see, the entire stadium was up.
What was the light thing? I saw that a couple times and I didn't know it looked like their cell phones or whatever, but I was like, that's weird.
Yeah. It's choreographed to some way, and they do something with their iPhones. I don't know how it works, but I've seen that on TV. It's something they do. It was great to see.
Yeah, back to the crowd. I was really up in a wide corner, upper sideline, all the way up in the corner, and everybody was standing all the way up there the entire game. It was fantastic. Crazy.
And rewatching, you can see in shots where like everyone is singing. Like it's the first time I've experienced it where like the whole
Wiseman
stadium
was
is into it.
Wiseman, I can't get over.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It was great to be a part of, and I can't believe we came in with nothing, and then we've won MLS Cup, and now Mel and I are actually moving back to Indiana in 2 weeks' time. So it's like we've come in, won the cup, and we're off. But we're fans. So like we have season tickets for next year. We're in the Nordecke. We might miss a few games at the start of the season because baby's due in April, but we will be here most weeks.
Yeah,
just got a bit of commuting to do.
Awesome.
Dang.
Awesome.
How's your shoulder?
Shoulder's good. I went for my first run today. It lasted, I would say, about 20 seconds.
Nice.
But that might be because I was incredibly hungover, but it's been 4 months. So, but yeah, I'm almost fully recovered.
Oh, nice. I love it. I love it. Thoughts and prayers, man. You know what I mean? Thoughts and prayers.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Well, congratulations to you for picking the winner. We were just talking to someone who had bet on the Crew in January and was counting their monetary winnings.
Same here.
With the typical,
in January, I had a $10 each way bet I made with about 5 games of the regular season to go. So last night, if Crew won, I was guaranteed. I would have won $320, which I did. If they'd lost the game, I would have got $160 back. So,
nice.
It paid for the ticket, basically.
Heck yeah. That's awesome.
Take that, Typico.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you guys going to keep up the pod?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're looking to get someone in to sort of co-host with us that knows. I mean, I listen to you guys all the time, and we always say on our pod, listen to you guys for actual analysis of the game. Because we just talk about like what someone's eating in the stadium sitting next to us. We don't really go into play-by-play like you guys do. I then listen to your pod after we've recorded ours, and you tell me how the game went. That's how it works. But we'll keep going.
Yeah, awesome.
I love your pod. I don't think any. I mean, I listened to Aces too, and Aces said the same thing. They were like, "Man, New to Crew is just so fresh because it's like a we've all been jaded over the years and like done the Save the Crew and stuff like that. And it's nice to have like fresh eyes come in and get that perspective. It was just like, yeah, we just started. This is interesting. And like the fact that this is your first year is because I think Haas's first year and Himmel's first year was 2008, which was when they won the Cup.
Wow.
About that.
I think technically 06, 07 were our first few games, but like
our first
year
year of season tickets was 08, where we like bought season tickets was 08.
Like you're all in.
And it was great. I mean, I remember, we didn't go to the MLS Cup final, but I remember watching that game at the Crew Bar on Summit there, Ruby Tuesday.
Yeah.
Rubies.
And I think it was Haas that I remember lifting him when Hadek scored that third goal.
He was a tiny little thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was an incredible game. But this game yesterday, and we're trying to just talk about yesterday's game tonight. But I have a lot of thoughts on this season that I'm excited to talk about in the coming weeks because just what an awesome journey. And pretty cool that you all have joined at the perfect time to enjoy it because it's been awesome.
We really have, and I would just say as well, like without going into too much detail, the whole season we were welcomed in by so many people that gave us advice, even things like you should talk to this guy and get them on the pod, and they'll tell you the history of this side. I know a little bit about MLS, but not. I never followed that closely. I've lived in the States for 4 years now, and I track it a bit, but I didn't follow the club. I didn't know the history.
Yeah.
And anyone I've asked for help, they've helped us out. And even just game day, come down tailgating, go to this bar for a watch party, all that kind of stuff. It's been incredible to be a part of.
So I'm guessing you've been following, obviously, football for many years then. And where's your roots?
Yes, I'm from just east of London. I'm sadly a Spurs fan.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go!
So it's been a great weekend because we won today.
Thanks,
I've got
Mark.
a dream for next season now for Crew. So if we win the CONCACAF Champions League, we qualify for the 25 World Club Cup, which is expanded and it's in the US. So if Spurs win the Champions League, we've got to get back in it first. They'll be here in the US. Spurs Columbus.
I'm not holding my breath.
Spurs can do it. I don't think Tottenham can.
Spurs were in Chicago a number of years
I was there.
ago. Is that right, Ben?
I was there.
You were there, and you ran. Didn't you see somebody?
I hung out with Harry Kane.
You hung out with them, and describe that hangout
for like 20 minutes. Yeah, I was in Zara, And
I didn't know you actually spent more than I thought you.
No,
just,
I
like,
did
hit on him or something.
and it was
awkwardly confronted him.
I did because he literally
him.
he's identical to how he's always been. And it was the year before he broke out. Adebayor was the starting striker, and I was just like I looked up and I looked at him, and I was like, Harry Kane, and he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, and I was like, well, tip of the hat, mate. No, I didn't say that. I just started talking to him, and he was like, I'm really glad you came out. I'm like, I'm not a reporter. Like he was like, he just was very like professional.
We're not going to get any more
like,
impression. Come on, give us a little more.
More British. Please.
More British.
No.
I feel bad here.
Didn't you say "What's up, baby" to somebody on?
I said "What's up, baby" to Kyle Walker and Lewis Holtby. It was with Lewis. Yeah, it was back when Holtby was on the team, and they were walking together, and I was like, Walker, and he was like across the street, and like Ashley looked at me, and I didn't know what to do. I panicked. I was like, "Sup, baby?" And she looked at me. She's like, "That's what you said?" I was like, "Oh my god!" I panicked. I panicked so hard. Oh man, I was like, and he gave me like a "What's up" and gave me the deuces, and I was like, well, "That's cool," but like. She's like, you should go talk to him. I'm like, I said the worst thing I could to another adult.
No.
Nice moves.
So we're
married.
married.
Pete. Yeah, Pete. Thank you for joining the club tonight.
We'll have you back. I can't believe
we'll have you back.
Congrats on the baby. I had no idea.
Thanks for having me on.
Looking forward to hearing about your journeys east and west between Indiana and Crew Stadium next season.
Yep.
Beautiful drive.
And congratulations on your new addition. Baby Ya will have to have on when he or she is of age to comment on their hot takes as the Crew continue their dynasty that I'm sure is well underway at this point. So thanks again.
Sounds great, guys.
Yeah,
thanks so much for having me on. Enjoy.
Hope Mel gets well soon.
Go Crew.
Go Crew.
Go Crew.
Awesome.
Let's take a break now, and when we come back, we'll jump back into the review of the game. We'll be right, Trap.
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all Crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell him that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
Okay, we're back. Great to see Pete from New to Crew. Man, he's got a lot going on.
Yeah, had no idea.
Okay, so what we were talking about before he joined, we were talking through that first PK goal. I did want to just ask you guys, penalty in a final. This is controversial. Did you think it was a handball?
Yep, we can move on.
Yep, done.
Yes.
No, I wasn't 100% clear on the rules, because I know if it's sometimes been in some leagues, is if it hits your thigh or something and it goes up an arm, that's one thing. This was like shoulder to arm, and it's MLS. The other one I think was like EPL or whatever. So I think.
Well, and his arms were like up.
Yeah, no,
his arms were not in a natural position.
No.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that's the key to it.
Yeah.
Was his arm was up, and it was like he's yelling.
and it was our second penalty shout actually, because Morris he went down a little bit too easy, but there was definitely some contact there on that one too. But
And then there was a third later in the game.
No, so there was a total of
a third
6.
and a fourth.
Yeah, I went back and rewatched, and the Morris one went down a little too soft. I think this one
that was fine.
Yeah, the problem is we heard word that there were some analysts that at halftime went out in the hallway and were screaming about how that was not a PK or not a handball. But the rule is like, it doesn't matter if it hits off your chest and then your hand. like if you handle the ball in the box, that's a handball. But also, if you take away his hand, Rossi beats that guy and then is in on goal. So I mean, it's just like, yeah, dude, you can't.
That's true. He was pulling it back that way. Yeah,
his literal hand got in the way of.
Should that be the real penalty? You take away his hand.
Yes.
I'm surprised that the
1400s were Egypt for stealing a banana.
Egypt,
right? I mean, that's like what it was for Aladdin.
That the
yeah, it was in Persia, I think, but that's
factual.
Listen, we've all seen Aladdin. We could agree on that. And Abu steals a apple.
And,
all right.
And Taylor Twellman complains about it 20 minutes
also,
later.
Spoilers.
Okay, so let's go. let's go to the second goal.
Probably should.
We talked to Pete about it. Yeboah, and also the pass leading up to it. Ben, anything you want to say about that?
It's pretty good multi-pass. Good. All right, I'm so pumped.
Multi-pass.
I thought about this like as I was going to sleep that night. Absolutely high on beer.
Also
last night.
Okay, yeah, it was last night. Oh man, this whole
like 21 hours ago.
Yeah, the season seems like a year ago. Like last night seems like months ago. And I was just like, I was in my bed by myself, lonely, and I was just like, multi-pass. And I was like, I like rolled over and I was like, please someone make this. And someone did make like Lilu from The Fifth Element. If you haven't seen it, like a meme of like multi-pass and whatever.
Multi-pass.
That pass was bananas. Right? Like the whole sequence, that entire thing just, and it was 6 minutes after.
Haas shared, was it Haas that shared a graphic? And you mentioned it earlier. There was like some 12, 13 passes that led up to the goal.
I've got them all if you want them.
Yes.
Yeah, talk through it, man. Yeah, do it.
So it's a little lengthy, but bear with me. So it all starts in the 37th minute. It all starts in the 37th minute when Morris steals the ball. He plays Rossi forward, and he drops it back to Morris. He plays it wide to Farsi, who drops the ball back to Camacho in our own defensive half. Back to Farsi, who passes forward to Rossi. He plays Moreira on the sideline, who plays the ball into the middle to Cucho. Cucho drops to Nagby near midfield. He plays the ball back to Amundsen. Then we have Amundson's beautiful pass splitting the back line to an on-rushing Yeboah perfectly in stride. He takes one touch, shoots it low past the keeper with his left.
Outside of the
fantastic.
foot.
I could watch that over and over and over.
And I have watched it over and over and over and over. It's a beauty.
But everyone has, like all the pundits, everything that they were all social media avalanche of that sequence and that play was just insane.
I've heard it said a couple of times. Is this the best MLS goal in a final that you've seen?
Yeah, that's
final for them.
What? Yeah, I haven't seen all of them.
They said the best team, definitely the best team.
The sequence.
Yeah, sequence.
They were
and
saying Bale last year.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. That Frankie Haydick goal I was talking about earlier was pretty darn good.
Yeah, I think the difference was the lead up to
that
it.
way, yeah.
It was 11 passes.
Yeah, the dominant passing leading up to it was beautiful.
The question wasn't which goal had the most passes leading up to it.
No, but I said team goal. I'm sure there's been some like upper 90s shots from out wide or something like far out or something.
Pod.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess we would need to define goal, right? Like that we
we don't need to define goal.
Assists.
We know what a goal is.
No,
you shoot within the 3 poles. Yeah.
Okay.
No, coming into this game, it was all about
goal.
Yeah, so coming into this game, it was all about Nancy. Like, and I do want to take a minute to shout out. Like, he was the first black coach to coach in a final. The first coach to win. Amazing, absolutely amazing. So that
First
leading into
year.
this is like how does he play his philosophy, and we'll talk about the quotes and stuff like that. But like this was his thesis, and it comes to fruition. You know what I mean? Like this is what he said he's gonna do at the beginning of the season, and then in MLS Cup, the game-winning goal is his thesis statement, where like literally everybody touches the ball, an insane pass is in, and your wingback scores.
And we won the ball. We won the ball far up the field with extremely good pressure.
Yeah, high
that
pressure.
was also a key part of that. The high pressure was intense. They were. We had a chokehold on them the entire first half. They could barely breathe.
Almost the entire game on rewatch. Like I thought it was. I thought second half, which we can get to in a second, but it was it was just the whole game felt.
Let's do it.
I mean, first half we had 68 possession to their 32. We had 8 shots, 2 on target, 300 accurate passes to their 119. They had 1 shot on target with 4 shots. So it was a dominant first half for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said it.
I mean, their first, one of their shots was like, almost a throw in. I mean, it was like.
Well, they had that one chance at the very end. It wasn't a shot on goal, but it went like, via, I think it was via Camacho, like an outside of his heel or something, and it went just barely past our post.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that was really, almost the only thing that was really scary from them in the whole first half.
45 plus 2. So right at the end of the first half.
Yeah, but in general, like, the Crew, again, Nancy thesis statement is the other team is going to get 5 or 6 decent looks. And if they can finish, a third of them, they get 1 or 2 goals, right? Like that's been this way for like 6 months. And, at the end of this game, it's like they had like, literally, I counted them. There was, I think, 6 total, like across the face of goal or like actual opportunities within the box or like legit opportunities. And they finished 1. And technically, Schulte did save the first one. Like, if it would have hit his hands, he would have parried it away. Again, we can
I'm
get
pretty
to that,
sure
but.
he was not in his right mind when he was crawling backwards trying to make that second save.
No.
I mean,
no.
LA clearly likes to set up Murillo in the box just to head it, like pass it to him in the air, head it across the box to try to set up Bouanga.
Oh yeah, alley-oop.
I mean, I think they did that 3 different times.
So let's pop. I don't think we've officially jumped into the second half here, but let's do that. They got their goal that you guys are talking about. 74th minute? They made it 1 sub in the 60th, but talk through that goal real quick, Paz.
So Nagby plays a little bit of a slow or lazy pass that's intercepted by Murillo. Bogus with a Z on the end. I don't know how to say that guy's name.
They said it different, but it's bogus.
It's a promo. It's a promo code. Go ahead.
He taps the ball back to Murillo and he dribbles forward into the box, cuts the ball across the box to an onrushing Bouanga, who shoots at Schulte, saves it with his face. The ball drops back perfectly to him, and he's just able to like tap it into the net.
And Amundsen almost got it. Like Multi almost had.
He did.
Almost had that. Like
that started up with what we're willing to risk. Play it out from the back.
Oh
and
yeah,
it was just a good pressure from I think it was Murillo, the big Murillo, yeah. That beat Rossi to the ball, and we put ourselves a little bit too much pressure on that one. But that's the part of what we're doing. It's the risk reward kind of thing we do.
They were also pressing really high at that point, trying to get back into the game.
Yeah. Very true as well.
Yeah.
I didn't really feel like they were. I didn't feel this like they were doing what we did against Cincinnati, though, right? Like that's when we scored our first goal against Cincinnati, right? About 75. It didn't feel like the tides were changing.
Well, yeah, and I want to speak. I want to speak to that because there are 2 things here. One is I watched LA play against Houston, and they that's their thing. They play on the counter and whatever, and it did make me worried. That being said, what didn't turn the tide, and the reason in the stadium at least where we were at, so he saves it with his face. He goes down. The concussion protocol people come out and check. and he's down for a while. And Evan Bush is ready to come in. He's gearing up.
Is that why he was down? Because the ball hit him in the face?
Yeah.
I couldn't find the head contact.
No,
he was down.
It wasn't.
Okay. It came up off his
it definitely
chest,
hit him.
collarbone, caught him in the face.
Yeah, and he was pointing to where it was. I wasn't, and I'm with Trey. Like he kind of seemed like he was knocked out. Buster Douglas did bring in the trophy, so it was like a little on the nose. But all right, so like
I thought he might have hit his head when he was diving the second, hit his head on the post when he was
point blank Bouanga to the face. And again, if you look at it again, the way his arms moved, he was trying to parry it away. Like it honestly was brilliant. So like their one main, like he saved everything else. That would have been an awesome save if it wasn't like right at his face. So he was down for a while. When he gets up, it was like Rocky getting up. The crowd lost their mind. Yep. So instead of it being like a tide change, because all of a sudden we're like, oh crap, our guy's down. And then it was a long time. Yeah. And then it was like he gets up and he puts his hands up like let's go, and the whole crowd loses it. And then the rest of the game unfolds the way it does. So it could have gone a different way.
Yeah, when they kicked off the ball, when we kicked off, the crowd was just going. Yeah,
the crowd was losing their mind.
Losing their minds. But hey, you talk about turning the tide. 49th minute before that goal should have been.
Look who we got!
Hey, what time is it? What time is it? How many minutes do we have?
Leave her alone, Mort.
It's Kourtney Sullivan. Welcome, Kourtney.
Thank you guys for having me. I apologize for only having half of a voice.
We're at like 2.5 total voices among the 6 of us here. Kourtney, you are the big clock lady, right? Is that your official title, unofficial title?
That's one of the many titles that I have, yes.
Okay.
Game day operations on the board. Someone does call me Crew Barbie, so that fits with the pink. Okay. But there you go. Yeah.
I love it.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the club. I do not live in Columbus. I moved away about 8 years ago, but my one gripe with Crew games was the time. Like this thing can't count over past 90. I'm not making any new point. I know that my perspective is not unique here, but when I heard about what you and the team have done about this rule or loophole or whatever, so much respect. So great work.
It was brilliant. They kind of came up with it. They're like, well, it's one of our biggest things. So we would have people that would stopwatches forever, and that's just not anything.
Yeah.
And I don't even think they finished.
That was me.
Yeah. I don't even think they finished presenting the idea, and I just immediately said, yes, I volunteer as tribute. Let me do it.
Yeah. Do you got strong shoulders? I mean, you press, you really press that thing and hold it over your head. What was it this time? Like 8 minutes or something? I mean, it was a long time to keep it over your head.
Because I usually capo the first half, and then I get a little bit of a break. So by the time at the end of it, the longer the stoppage time, then I'm like, okay, when there's 10 minutes or something ridiculous, I'm like, okay, now I need a break. But
I'll do 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. You guys see it
we can tag team that. Absolutely, we'll make that work.
Yeah, it's a CrossFit clock.
We definitely have been very grateful for you here on the pod.
Yes, thank you.
We have brought it up many times that we really appreciate you keeping the time
literally
for us.
if you don't have a clock, Mort freaks out. We have to calm him down. He has to go to the sensory room. He's like, what time? What is time?
Yeah. It's how can I keep time? How can I do this? I don't understand.
Does anybody have a watch?
It's just my world
with a
stops.
small hand?
Exactly. And also thank you for your engagement. I know that we've read a handful of things that you've posted.
Yeah, somebody
on our thread.
Did somebody kind of creepers get to your car or something? I think that was
someone did. It was such a great gift, though.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Ben. I think Ben
I got coastered. I didn't even know that was a term until you guys said it, and I'm just so honored that I got coastered. So
yeah, you got coastered. Yeah,
I do it all the time.
Fingerprints all over it. Yeah,
I wear gloves. Untraceable.
So, Kourtney, one thing we've been asking, and Mars, you're probably getting to everybody, is kind of what from yesterday. what can you remember? What was the big thing for you? What's stuck with you for you're going to remember like 10 years from now?
Your back was turned for an entire half. The best half.
When you heard the crowd get excited, I turned around to be able to catch it. I caught both goals, so that was important. I think just the entire energy from getting down there and doing the march and then waiting for the team arrival, and then once you got in, I mean, that stadium gets loud, for Hell Is Real and for any other, big important match. But that is the loudest and most unified I have ever heard that stadium go for the full 90 minutes. And that is just something I don't know that we'll ever be able to top it again unless, we host it again next year and we'll just get louder. But I just think what everyone brought last night was what's going to stick with me. There were times in the march I kind of stop and like just do a 360 and look around. There were times during points in the match where I'd look around, and then coordinating the Wiseman as a nice,
Yeah, that was amazing.
It was so good.
Yes. Thank you for doing that. I put it out in the internet world when I heard it. I was like, please, Court, like Nordecke, please. So someone just we got to do it, right? We're not going to do it. Like, what are they going to play? They're playing some Lenny Kravitz, and we're like, nah, dude.
No, they were going to, supposedly, at least initially, they were going to play the MLS anthem.
Get out of here.
I mean, it's an instrumental.
Yeah.
It's like the Death Star.
It's B Real from Nintendo 64 Super Mario. Type Peach's
Isn't
Castle.
B Real from Cypress Hill?
There is a B reel in Cypress Hill.
There's too many B reels, is what we're saying.
Okay, awesome. And then what was I going to ask you? But when you joined, we were talking about because you were talking about the noise level, and we were talking about when Schulte finally got back up and how it kind of reinvigorated everyone after the LA goal. And how we were kind of able to kind of ride the momentum of him getting back into keeping our step and keeping a hold of the game, right? Going into the last 15, 20 minutes of the game.
I was kind of standing ADA because even when I'm not on the capo, second half before I go on clock, I'm running around making sure everyone's happy, drummers are good, this and that, saying hi to people and all that. And immediately everyone goes oh no. And I'm like, guys, this is fine. We've got this. We're not losing this game. Patty Boy's going to get up. He's going to be great. He's not going to get out of this game. He's fine. Yeah. And they're all concussion protocol. I'm like, no, we've got this. Calm down. I said, shut them up. We got this. And then he got up as one of those, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
I definitely think he was concussed, right? Sure. I think that's what we landed on because he got up and he's just all ready to go. How many we got? And it's oh boy. Okay,
it was a mini concuss. Yeah. It's
he's young, he'll bounce back.
Low grade.
Brain is still developing.
These guys, you talk to these old football players, they're back in my day, there were no concussions, so
we didn't wear pads. We're fine.
Yeah, you see how flat Cellini's head is from all the headers he's hit.
Ouch.
I think he hit it with his nose, to be honest.
So then
all of it went down to his nose.
After the game, what kind of after party did you go to?
So we did the rally, in Nordecke for a little bit. Then we went over to Betty's for a little bit. And then I hopped to two other places. And then I was like, guys, I have to, I didn't get too crazy at all of them because I'm like, guys, I have to go home because I had to work at 9 this morning.
Ouch.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
But I did it last weekend too after Cincy. Oh, I did. Yeah.
If you ever need a job,
back in my day, we never called off work. We just showed up.
Back in my day, we get a concussion
or still drunk.
You go to work.
Still drunk, exactly. Yeah. No, it was worse last weekend because I worked Saturday till 2:30. Drove down to Cincy, checked in my hotel, called parked my car, called my Uber, got to Cobblestone right at 5, and then was able to catch the tail end of the march over to the stadium. And then Sunday morning, I had to get up and drive back because I had to work at 11 a.m. on Sunday. Yeah, that was
hop
a lot
on
harder
LinkedIn
than
and get that
this one
Monday
was.
through Friday, baby. That's too
Right.
much. Sunday is the Lord's
Yeah.
Day, Kourtney.
Yeah. Well, I think
Lord Guillermo.
and
Yes.
you are the only person who can put the official timekeeper clock lady on your LinkedIn, right? Are you the only one?
For right now, I feel like other teams are going to see it and pick it up, and
I
eventually
can't
Don
believe
Garber's
that they
gonna,
haven't.
but then once they do, Don Garber's going to have to make a rule against it, and then I will have an MLS rule named after me, and I will wear that as a badge of honor. So.
Yeah. Well, all this is to say you should have no problem finding some position that does not require you to work early on Sunday mornings, so that you can keep doing the great work that you do in stoppage time on Saturday night.
I mean, if people want to pay me for keeping time,
Well,
I'm not gonna say no.
I know it's
by the hour.
Look,
more
It'd be
might.
easy to track it.
somebody's getting paid to keep minutes 1 through 90, right? So
Right.
like,
And not enough money, evidently, because it
making
doesn't
up
go past 45 or 90.
yeah, it's a union thing. It's like I don't count past 90, but anyway,
It's the highest number.
all right. Well, so
That's a good call.
before we let you go, what's like what was your moment of the match? I know Mort kind of asked you about that earlier, but like if what do you hope to retell in years to come?
I think one thing that really stuck out to me too was Yeboah's goal.
Yeah.
I mean, from last year to this year, how much he's developed and how well he's fit into Nasi's system has been amazing. And I know last year people were like, he's not panning out. We'll get rid of him. And I'm like, guys, like Mensa was a big part of convincing him to come. And when he scored and he ran over that corner, that's right where Jonathan was standing the whole game. So to see his kind of mentor that brought him everything, and I looked over because I knew Jonathan was coming. I had some inside breadcrumbs that told me about that. And when I looked over and saw him, he's just in the aisleway. I'm like, oh, there's my buddy. Okay, I'm gonna hunt you down later and give you a hug. But right now I gotta be on my capo stand. When I saw Yo go to him, I'm like, oh, that's a moment right there.
It's family.
There were some powerful mentor protege moments last night.
I couldn't deal with it.
It's
I was having a rough time.
Yeah, I said it earlier. I'm so glad that it was raining for everyone, because otherwise
cutting onions, baby.
it was just tears everywhere.
I was like, oh God,
I mean,
who's he talking to?
You said it earlier. Well, I want to talk about it more in depth later, but when they asked Nancy after the game, I think it was Katie Witham, another Columbus native, she asked him, what his reaction was. It's like he has been projecting such confidence, and it was just it was hitting him hard after that game. And it was just so awesome to see.
I'd argue Yeboah, Yeboah man of the match.
Yeah, agreed.
MVP of the match.
He had another chip
Cujo.
across the box. We almost put
If you notice that when he come with this little trophy up to the main stage before they lift the trophy, he kind of goes up to Yeboah. It's like, you should have this. He kind of stuck it over to him.
Yeah.
Kucha did.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Kourtney, I definitely wanted to say thank you,
Yes,
because
thank
you
you.
were actually the capo that was standing in front of 3 of us last night. So you were leading us through that entire first half, and you did a fantastic job.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for your voices, because that was one of the most fun games, and to be able to be up there and see not one single person just kind of standing watching the game. Everyone's watching, but they're saying every chant was. I'm like, good. Let's do this every game if we can.
Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But it was amazing.
Yeah, it was. No, it was great.
All right. Well, Kourtney, thank you for jumping on with us and sharing some of your memories. And go Crew.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you,
Like I said, I listen all the time. I'm like, yes, I'm finally in.
We'll have you back on during the off season.
We will definitely have you
go
back.
do a whole thing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get you on here
Yeah.
before. Because this is the biggest celebration, and you were such a part of it. I wanted to get you on. You're important.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Kourtney.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
guys.
Go
Thank
crew.
you.
See ya.
Go crew.
So, Mort's got the time.
Mort's got the clock
Mort's
going.
got the time.
Got the clock.
He figured it out finally.
Yeah.
The odds were against him.
Never mind, Kourtney. I'm good now.
Yeah.
She's great. No, she's awesome.
How do clocks work?
Yeah.
No, she literally was like the capo that was
Right in front of us.
right in front of Ben Mort or Ben
She was
Haas and
bossing
I.
it.
Oh, for
I
sure.
mean, I felt like we were there for 2 hours before the match. And I feel like there were multiple moments leading up to the match where she was up there with cracking some jokes, quick quip things. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we were, as I mentioned, and I think I forgot when we were talking to her, but we brought it back around. We were talking about Schulte getting back up, getting the crowd back into it, and riding that out. It was around, I don't remember when. Oh, it was right after, that was the goal, right? So that was 75 or so. We started making subs a few minutes later, 83. We brought 2 in, Chiberko and Zawadzki for, who did they come in?
Yaboa and Nagby.
And they were both hurt. Is that right?
On rewatch, I don't.
They were limping off.
Nagby was limping off for sure.
But Nagby was
Yaboa
not stoked about coming
maybe I
off.
made it up, but
Oh, Yaboa was down right before he got
Correct.
subbed off.
Correct.
You're right.
Correct.
I forgot about that. He stayed down
It just
and
kinda
wasn't called.
In the
Just
box.
kinda
The
seemed
foul on him wasn't
and
called.
Nagby, I think, was slow. Like, I mean, these guys have played like 220 minute games in 15 days or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I think
was
it's a
sore
little bit
watching
like
it.
last game when we needed a goal, he kept Nagby in. When he needed
Correct.
to keep them out, he kept Morris in.
Yeah, so
I
he
think
viewed-
Nagby was
correct.
fouled 6 times. He was fouled the most in the entire game out of anybody.
He did a great job, putting his body in front of people that way and drawing a lot of fouls, especially in the second half. He did a great job. We kind of skipped past it because Kourtney jumped on, but I was going back to 2 things that could have changed the game. 49th minute, Carlos Vela tried to kill Cucho.
It's a red card,
2
right?
feet
Am
up.
I crazy?
100%,
Red card.
100% a red card. The only reason that it's not a red card is that his name is Vela.
Yeah, and I
Granted, the ref did a good job to let it play on because
Yeah.
Oh
we
yeah,
had
no,
an
we had a good
advantage.
chance. We had a good
Correct.
chance coming out
But-
there, but
It was a red.
yeah. And looking back, I
It
do
was
want
a
to
red, but okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say during the game when I was there, I was very upset at the ref because I'm an idiot, and that's like what we do. And I was still upset on rewatch. I looked back, and I still wasn't terribly stoked with the ref necessarily, but I do think it was a lot better on rewatch. I think he did the best he actually could do, so I have no problems with some of the decisions made. So I'm sorry for yelling at you
Okay,
live.
so let me ask
for
you
60 minutes.
Let me ask you about Cucho's reaction.
A little too much.
It seemed like too much.
Yeah, it was too
okay,
much.
so then my question is is that because it sounded like he was actually being assassinated, like what Mort was saying. So my question then is, if we can agree that the reaction was a little over the top, doesn't that kind of put you in a position where the ref has to question how hard the tackle really was, right? It's like,
Do
if you're-
refs think
if you're
about
with
that?
it
That's a
enough
good
to-
question. That's a great question.
What's the appropriate amount of reaction for a
I thought there was
2 feet
it
up
was
slide tackle?
unreal-
into
it was
your ankles?
unreal.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that he wasn't. I'm not saying
It wasn't bad.
that
Yeah, I
the
agree.
foul didn't happen or that whatever. But like, if you are rolling, 6 feet, like if
Back and forth.
if you're
Neymar.
performing, like
100%
let's just call it what it is. If you're
Yeah.
performing, then like I could see the ref being less inclined to throw the red because it's like, he's trying to milk this. But I don't know. That's
It
like
was
a
So
macro question.
the response on Twitter was.
I feel it was
insane.
more. I thought
People-
it was
people
more of a
were
reaction at it.
complaining.
I felt like he was one of those reaction where I think he almost expected that he had a serious injury. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's like, oh my God, my leg is falling off. So I didn't think it was like
it's
maybe like it was not a
the
dive. It was just like, oh my God, my leg just got ripped off.
Have you seen the meme of Neymar?
Yes.
Rolling, and he just keeps rolling, and rolling, and that's what it was.
Yeah,
I mean,
if he didn't, I don't know if because he took a minute to card him, so I do wonder if he didn't react so flamboyantly, if it would have been a different. I don't think it actually would have been. I think in the final you don't want to put a team
the play
down.
Didn't go on.
Okay. Yeah. That also that.
Yeah, that's
you're right. But if the play didn't go on,
this is cool.
I think it is possibly a look at for maybe a red. But he allowed the play to move forward. They pushed it all the way up, and then he had to come all the way back. And at that point, it wasn't that serious. There's no blood. There's no broken bones. There's nothing. He really got him mostly with just the trailing leg.
Maybe it was like one of those play the advantage kind of thing we discussed a few weeks back.
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't really want a red card in a final.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you want it to be. I don't disagree. You want it to be a full match. I mean,
I'm saying, next year's like, we didn't win the cup because you remember that guy got a red card. I was like, no.
I mean, the you I was speaking of is MLS. MLS does not want a red card.
Does it make you feel better, like, if he would have given a forceful yellow? Like, if he would have just gone over there and veiled his face and been like, yellow, and he's, like, screaming at him, like,
and put it away and
1, 2, 3 foul thing. Yeah. Like, then we would have been like, all right,
and also, if we're going to talk about that, Tillman had a second yellow that should have been a second yellow and would have been a red card, and he immediately got subbed before play even started after that. So even Cherundolo knew that he was like, I gotta get this guy off, man. He's gonna get a red.
All right. More. Was there something else you wanted to circle back on before we keep going?
Nope, that was it.
Okay, so we had more subs. I mean, when you look at it, it was like 83rd minute, 84th minute for Chaberko Zawadzki. That was one window. And then Gressel and Ramirez came in 85, 86 was the second window.
For Farsi and Cucho.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, taking off,
and then
that's important. Because, I mean, taking off Cucho and Nagbe, our captain, where we were at, like, they walked off towards us, and he was like, I mean, limping, but not limping, you know what I mean? And I'm like, he didn't look at the crowd, he didn't pump up the crowd, he seemed upset about coming off, and I'm like, dude, this is kind of I didn't feel great about it, to be honest with you. I was like, you're subbing off Farsi for Gressel, but, like, we need to pack it in, and Farsi, let's be real, had a great game kind of double teaming Bouanga with Moreira. Like, his defensive and like Gressel did not necessarily show that. He did okay when he came in.
Zero issues with these subs.
No,
wow. And Aiden in the middle.
And just all they looked. That felt like they looked like they were just tired.
And again,
did anyone see who the armband got passed on
Moreira, immediately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't. When I looked back, I was like, okay, cool. And it seems like that was the correct move because he is a spiritual leader on this team. He was, that was correct. It seemed weird. And again, it was correct because Chaberko came on and played great, locked it down. Zawadzki came on, great, locked it down. Gressel did some good things. He wasn't terribly defensive, but
I can't argue with anything that Nancy's done this year. You know what I mean? It's like you're bringing on players that are more than stepping up, more than stepping in, and what am I going to say? Like,
yeah,
they're fantastic. Like, Zawadzki's played how many times have we talked about every different position that he can play?
Yeah,
frequently.
And he comes in for a number 8,
like.
Not even
I can't 2 weeks ago.
He's
like
a potato.
Rail, like, he's a potato.
Yeah. Potato. I don't love it.
Potato.
Oh, potato. Very good. Very good.
Hey, so then Molino, Kevin Molino, he's our 90-minute.
I got the
maybe
death
we should put a clock on his jersey
from a certain queso-covered hombre. Let's just say that. Like, literally, I was yelling, and I look over, and unblinking, like gremlin style stare just like into my soul, and I look over and Trey's just like, dude.
He's got his bucket hat flipped over in his hand.
Yeah.
It's full of queso.
And I'll
He's
tell you,
dipping
he
chips
played-
in it.
No,
not
when I was
breaking
looking
eye
it off my
contact.
jersey. I was just like eating it off
Scooping
the jersey.
queso off of his
Looking
jersey,
at me,
not breaking eye contact.
into my soul, eating queso off his jersey.
That's
as
the
best
best
friends
part.
do. No,
Yeah.
I mean, again,
he played well for the 7 minutes he played.
He did.
Yeah,
He did.
he
There
did.
was a couple. He did get fouled in the box.
he was fouled
for sure.
in the
Harmony
box.
+2.
He had
Yep.
he had another one where he has two guys on him and he just like splits those two guys to get
Yeah.
out of pressure
Dude, he played-
and plays the ball out. It
and
was
great.
beautiful. That's
played
what he's
Christian
good
was
for,
fouled.
holding the ball.
Yeah, but we're
He's
not
also-
going to. I mean,
Correct.
okay, and we'll talk
Outside
about
the
this later. We're not going to spend $1 million next year to keep him on the team, but
No.
he did fine in his 7 minutes of stoppage time. Should have been a PK.
Absolutely.
he drew a
Yes.
foul. There was another one
Yes.
right before that on I think Rossi.
Christian.
No,
Ramirez, okay.
but it was outside the box. But I'll tell you what,
But
if they would have called that and he would have taken it and scored, I would have blown apart. Right? Like I would have just blown up.
and I would have.
That is not what I thought you were going to finish with.
No. Oh yeah. That was a right.
Well, you guys, okay, you guys would agree.
You know
though,
what?
that- I mean, this
Also,
was a 3-1 game. Would you guys agree this was a 3-1 game?
No, it was a 2-1 game.
I would. I would.
Yeah, it should have been a 3-1 game.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Amen. Okay. So that said,
mean,
any other
should've been
closing
4-1, to be honest
thoughts on the game? We talked through the goals, talked through the subs. There's more to talk about, of course, but
Oh, we have many things to talk about for many weeks.
yeah. But
We'll get more into
I think that
Yaboa MVP. Yaboa MVP
Probably.
for
Yeah,
me.
for us.
I'm sorry.
Quick-
I
quick-
mean, Cucho is great, but
quick question then on the on the award. Is that award for the game or for the tournament?
I think it's for the tournament.
Game.
I thought it was for the tournament. But
I'm going to do the bunny ears. It's for the game.
that's air quotes
But-
for everyone else. I don't know who says bunny ears.
Bunny ears.
I was with you
Let's
too.
see here.
That's the first thing I thought. I was just like, I don't know what he's gonna do with bunny ears.
every time I do air quotes, I put them behind. my head.
No one can see what he's doing here. Hold on a second. All right. Yeah, it's we don't need to talk about it. It's definitely air quotes. Okay. Also, Ben, we were talking about the goal earlier. You said pundit. That's not how you say that.
Pronunciations brought to you by the idiots of Upper 90 Club.
All right, so let's it's pundit. So let's move on and
Not how I say it. I say it how I say it with my mouth.
the award, do we know as we sit here whether it's for the tournament or the
Well,
game?
I would say it this way.
I think you're right for the game.
Oh yeah, only teams to be in the final will get the award. So I mean, so if it is for the playoffs, only be to somebody on the best team.
That's also true.
So I guess that could be the reason why he got it too, because for the playoff, he was the
Sure.
MVP of this playoff.
Agreed.
No doubt.
I have no
Nobody
issues
even
with
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. Let's go to another break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the predictions table.
And see if we have any other special guests.
Girls, come to story time. In the great green room, there's a telephone and a red balloon.
Dad, please don't do this. Goodnight Moon is for babies.
It's a board book, dude.
Okay, fine. What's it going to be? You guys pick.
Okay, we love this one.
Oh, A Massive Collection Volume 1 by Steve Sirk. You know, this is the first wide-ranging collection of his work. It features long-lost stories dating as far back as 97. It has a lot of popular favorites from over the years, too.
Well, what is volume 1? Like it's quiet?
No, it means it's like the first of a larger set.
Oh, okay, so where's the next one?
Well, it's funny that you asked that because Volume 2 just came out. You can get it at Steve Sirk's website, circbook.com. It'll also be available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Links will be available at
We are
some
not
point.
listening to you. Just go order it.
All right, we're back. Let's get into the long-awaited results of our predictions for the season. I don't know. I don't remember when we started talking about the stakes for this, but really more than being the winner, I think what we were all doing was avoiding being the loser.
That is correct.
Correct. Yes.
And while I occupied the top spot for most, if not all, of the weeks,
don't
Haas
throw
did
out your
the same.
shoulder, pat your own back.
Yeah, and I believe I remain in that position. And Haas was in the basement as we dubbed throughout the season, and was not able to mount a last minute. You could call it a comeback. It would be a jump from 5th to 4th place, but
avoiding last.
Yeah.
would have been the goal.
So I will also just point out at this time that the result of the game was not 1-0, and so I don't have to buy myself an Austin jersey.
Yeah.
Nope.
You could have bought it from that guy that was showing up at the game with it one.
Yeah,
we're just taking it.
Let's take a second to talk about that absolute.
Okay.
Only a second.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't deserve anything more than that.
So before we do that, I just want to say that Haas as the inaugural, what do we call it? The inaugural
shame jersey
pre-court award. Yeah. The shame jersey where he will wear this jersey, to Christmas next year? Is that what we said?
We'll figure it out. We'll think about something in the off season. But
all right, Ben's going to share a photo of this masterpiece. So Haas, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you.
The odds were always against you.
All right, so without do you guys want to talk about the Austin guy before we jump in, or just acknowledge that there was?
I don't want to spend too much time on these people.
You just glanced through this way too quickly now, because I got the score right.
I'm going to throw it to you.
Calm down, Mort.
Oh, no.
You're going to get your day in the sun.
You're going to tip of the hat. Trust me.
I know that while Haas was in Mexico, he didn't spend any time in the sun because of his,
as little as possible.
But
because of his human body.
But you'll get to bask in the sun here. Ben mentioned you guys saw somebody showed up to the MLS Cup final with the Columbus Crew wearing an Austin jersey.
And he was standing directly in front of the spot where we stand for almost every game except this one.
Yeah.
And next to someone in a Cincinnati jersey.
Was he?
No, there wasn't.
Was he covered in queso?
Jersey. I saw a Houston.
There was a white Cincinnati jersey.
Because he was standing next to a guy in a Houston jersey and another guy in a Portland jersey. And I just thought it was.
What's wrong with these people?
I have no.
Maybe they were part of like an art installment of like all the teams like that
lost along the way.
But hey,
like that. Yeah.
Let's put it this way: if you like, hey, I'm going to go to the MLS Cup final this year, and you find that it's in, Minnesota or something, right? You go there, you wear your Crew jersey, don't you? Or do you know?
Yeah. Wait, say that again.
I probably would wear no
if you kind of said, hey, this
jersey.
year I'm going to go to the MLS Cup final. So I'm going to go here. I'm a supporter of the Crew, but the game is in Minnesota. Would you
most
wear a Crew
coats are black.
Yeah.
We'll wear a coat. If it's Minnesota, I'll be wearing a coat. So it would be black.
Yeah. No, all right. So fair play to this. So I hung out with, from Scarves and Spikes, Tommy and Tyler during the game and then after the game.
Atlanta fans.
Yeah, and they're from Atlanta, and they didn't wear anything. And I was like, you guys, I'm not wearing anything? They're like, yeah.
They were also in the press box, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were naked, not wearing a single thing.
Birthday suit.
Without further ado, we're going to hand the mic over to Mort. Mort, tell us about the result of the predictions and then go through the table.
Tables. Just tables. 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 I can't know how to hear any more about tables.
This the score prediction table got longer and longer, and we've been like adding lines that we didn't expect to having to add when we started this year.
Great problems
so
to have. Yeah.
We're like down on line like 42 in our spreadsheet here, so it's getting pretty long. But as you know, the game ended with a Columbus Crew victory, 2-1. And the predictions were, of course, Haas thought it was going to be 3-2. That didn't work out. Trey and Mars will argue that this was a 3-1 type of game, but it wasn't.
Easily.
Yep.
Ben with a 4-1 would have tied up with Mars, like we talked about last.
I want to argue it should have been 4-1.
If nothing else, I ended on a high, double high, with 2-1 and 3 points. So everybody got 1 point. I got 3 points. That means, like Mars have already said, he set a new record, season-winning score of 29 points. So
29,
which is like
that's
not
the
that
benchmark,
many.
guys.
29.
29.
That's
not
the
that
benchmark
many,
for next
more
year.
than anyone has ever scored. Go on.
Yep.
Some might say the most that will ever be scored.
Trey followed with 28.
Come to me, tears in their eyes. They said he had 29 points. Right, go ahead.
Trey had 28. Ben had 27. I closed the gap a little bit, up on 25. And Haas gonna wear the shirt.
Way down. Way down.
22.
Way down.
Points.
No one's ever seen a basement like this.
If Mort wouldn't have gotten the score right, I only would have been 1 point behind you.
And if the blind man wasn't blind,
2 points.
Would that make you feel better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would. Anything would.
All right.
I'm just looking to feel something.
Yeah.
I will highlight
drinking this
that
bourbon.
I'm the only one that got 4 perfect predictions.
Yeah, no,
And fourth place at that.
4 correct, 4th place. That's that that's that meme that's like the champagne in the face, even though he's like, oh, yeah.
It's just got a lot of incorrect results then.
I hate you
Okay,
guys.
so that was great. And so you're gonna share the winner or the loser jersey or whatever that Haas is gonna wear.
Yeah, I'll do that. There was also like 4 people that got the correct score right, so we're going to be mailing out a bunch more stuff. Now that we have too many people doing this, I've got to figure something out because I'm losing.
We're gonna
lots
figure
of
out
money.
a way to make it more challenging. Yeah.
Well, during the season, we had to get 3
And
right.
we'll do that.
I mean,
Correct.
postseason, we've been doing any game right. So
Hey, Bird! Oh man, he's got Bird
Woke
is
my dog. You woke my dog.
Bird is sideways.
Sorry, Bird.
He has fireworks, and he is. I think I already said he is sideways.
That is a beautiful dog.
Hey, the app told me to put my phone on landscape. All right, it's not my fault.
I love it.
That's all
How
right.
did you do the fireworks? Was that just part of the thing?
Oh no, they just know I'm special. I didn't have.
That just happens.
I think it's an Apple thing.
Yep. Just
okay.
came on
All
board
right.
and it was like, look, it's Bird.
Bird,
I feel
we
like
won! We won!
We I feel like we talk to you every week without talking to you, and it's just so great to have you here.
I know.
Again.
I'm good now. Yeah.
Yep. No, you're
Yeah.
Wait, let me stop this dog from licking me.
So
Okay.
describe your other than the dog licks, describe your viewing experience for the game yesterday.
Oh, it was great. Both I watched it at home, right? Because I live in Colorado. But both my wife and my daughter, my 5-month-old, have COVID right now.
Okay. Mm.
It was real easy to focus on the game when you either have a baby crying because she can't breathe, or you have to go and suction her nose. You know.
Oh man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have the what's it called? The little what's the thing you suck? The mouth, the thing.
Oh,
what's it
it's so
called?
I don't miss those. I don't miss those.
Yeah.
I know what you're
whatever it's
talking about.
called.
Frida.
Yeah.
Frida.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. This is
we had to quit doing that because I just was like, I'm sucking in your germs. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're also
Can't
doing
do
it to your
And-
wife, and she
And
can blow her nose.
Instead of talking about the game, I want to talk more about sucking snot. Could we do that?
Hey, you asked what my experience was.
Hey,
No, that's right.
No. You're great.
You're not the issue here.
Did you dial in Chris Doran, or were you listening to Taylor Twellman try to Taylor quell his disappointment for
LA
for
losing
the game
And who
not
was
going
on
his
Fox?
way. Yeah.
That was the third option, right?
Yeah. Under no
Stu
circumstances
Holden.
do I listen to Twellman.
Ah,
if
boy,
the game is
that's
at
my
home,
boy.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like I was thinking this to myself, like there's 2 things that bring me happiness, like really when I hear them, I get really happy, is when my daughter laughs and when Doran yells, "For Columbus!"
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's so good. So good. Maybe like a ringtone. Text
right?
message.
Sorry, I have to take this call. Awesome. It's the doctor.
It's my proctologist. Okay.
Bad news. I have 2 butts.
Bad news. You're gonna have to suck some more snot. Okay, so Bird, what was your moment of the match?
Where?
I don't know. It's got to be the second goal. I think
it has to be.
Yeah, but I will go. But my man of the match, I think I have someone who a lot of people recognize how well he played, but he's no one. I haven't heard anyone say he was their MVP. But for me, it was Aiden Morris coming into the game. Ooh. I thought to myself, if Aiden Morris is playing with the intensity that he's been playing all these playoffs, then like we have it. And when he was starting like doing those tackles in the midfield, like by minute 1, I was like, okay, like I relaxed so much when I saw that he was on his game.
Yeah. So like, and what were your thoughts? I mean, like you're so in with Crew 2, and I know like there were just so much Crew 2 representation.
Yeah, man.
On the field. What an incredible accomplishment that this club has made just by cultivating this new program, right?
Yeah, I always keep track, right? So we played 8 players last night who have played for the Crew 2.
That's insane.
You have guys like Yeboah and Molino who only play for the Crew 2 because they're coming back from injury or something like that.
Right.
When you think you have like Pat Schulte and Morris played a lot with the Crew 2 in the beginning of last season when he was recovering from his knee, and then Zawadzki, of course, and Mo Farsi goes without saying.
Yeah.
And then we had 3 more in the bench that didn't come and play. So I think that that's 11 players that we've brought in as a squad have had played time with the Crew 2. I think that's awesome.
And it's only been around.
It's so cool how
it's only been around for a year. Like we set the precedent for that. We won the cup. We took those players and then won the actual the other cup with the
2 years. But
should have this year too. Let's not talk about that.
Well, so do you think that the fact that we have been able to utilize so much of our second team has something to do with Nancy's approach to kind of molding these guys into, is it the fact that maybe these younger players are more malleable to a system? What do you think about how? Why is it? Is it a coincidence or like?
Why are we so
why
good?
Are we finding so?
Why are we the greatest team the world has ever seen?
That's right.
I know it's not an accident. I know that the philosophy of tactics and how they play between Nancy and Courtois was very similar already, like before Nancy came in. But I've heard multiple times from people who have knowledge of it that it is on purpose that the Crew 2 will play the same style that the first team is playing, even if maybe they don't have the pieces for it. Like we played Clay Holstad at goalie, which that's a joke that only I get. It was because the actual goalie got a red card and we didn't have a goalie.
I watched that.
Classic Eddie Gavin moment.
But Clay Holstad is a good one. He's not with the Crew 2 anymore, but he was the Zawadzki of the Cappies. He was a holding midfielder who played a lot of games as a center back. So even that, they were kind of emulating. Just figure it out. It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, and that makes sense too, right? Like why
wouldn't you?
Just from a foundational standpoint, why would you have 2 different systems within the same like kind of feeder organization, right? So it makes sense that they would structure it that way.
That brings me to somebody we haven't really talked much about at all. That has been very key. We talked about Nancy. We talked about the team. Bez Pachenko. I mean, the things he have done in bringing in talent and making some smart and very brave moves. We've get rid of our captain, but he sent off our Menza last year, captain of the team, a very popular character, and we weren't happy about it. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's going to happen next year? We're going to get Sands back too.
We'll talk about it.
All right.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
That'll be really interesting.
He was good, man. He was real good.
Yeah, I think that if Sands comes back, he keeps Amundsen as that center left back. That position is his to lose. And I think that Sands and Yeboah will kind of do what Farsi and Grassel do. That sub to come in and change the tide of the game. I think that they have different. Sands is a much better defender than Yeboah is, but he still has that speed, and he would dribble past people so easily. It's crazy to just see a guy like him, just like a left back who just dribble people. So I think that's what is going to come to be.
Yeah, I hope he's a lot like what Morris is coming back from injury, like coming back, hitting the ground running, and is the player we hoped he would be. That would be great.
And just don't make the trip to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Just cancel it.
Yeah. All right, Bird. Well, I know I'm so glad that you're here with us. I'm so thankful for all the time that you spend on our pod. We love having you. It's great to see you. I hope that your family gets well soon.
Yeah, me too.
Mars is still sick from
in
a month ago.
Oh yeah, I've got I have lost count of the daughters that I have, but this is a lot, and they're just bringing illness into my home constantly. I got something a couple weeks ago. I'm still hacking my head off. So hopefully, you're not in the same boat, and we look forward to hearing from you throughout the off season.
Love you, Bird.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Let's go, Crew.
Thanks, Bird.
Thank you.
All right, so I think that's it. Before we go, we're gonna read a little bit of the internet. Thank God people were spending more time in the real world than the internet in the last 24 hours because there was a lot to do in the real world. But we had a few comments that we want to talk through. Ben, take it away.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to start off with Bird. We should have asked him while he was here, but he was like, "Is Malte Amundsen the best emergency signing of all time?" Because lest we forget, he was signed within 15 hours of Sands getting injured and the window closing or something like that. It was crazy
because the window. It was very close to when the window was closing.
He lost favor in New York City, and we signed him. And
but he won
we signed him as a winger, and then
the field is not wide enough in the Bronx.
No. He was a baseball player. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was a catcher
for the Yankees.
No, well, it's AAA. He was playing.
So he was playing for the Clippers. So he already lived here
or something. Yeah.
All right, nailed it.
All right,
totally nailed it. Next up is Kevin Miller. He said, number one, if you need a guest on the pod, let me know. I should have actually hit him up. Now that I'm reading this, he could have popped in. Number two is we did it.
Missed your shot, Kevin. Never again. All right, we did it.
We did it. And three, is this the best crew season ever? Okay, interesting. This definitely is better than the 20.
It's for another pod.
Can we table this?
Yes, table.
I think we can summarize and say this would be a very unique, incredible season in its own right.
Yeah, agreed.
It's too bad.
And thank you for the episode idea.
Well, and it's too bad that, to my knowledge, they were not documenting every minute of this season as they did with The Last Dance and with what I think they did the same thing with Kobe Bryant's last season, that it's a documentary to be released kind of thing. I would be really interested to see locker room kind of
Hard Knocks kind of thing.
This season was insane if you think about the arc of where we started and how we ended.
Totally insane.
It seems like
we're going to talk
we will talk about this.
I love talking about the game from last night.
We all just an incredible game. Sweat off our head. All of us. We can't talk about it now.
It was an incredible game the conversation that needs to be had is about this season, and I cannot wait to do it. There's just so much there. Like I mentioned it earlier, I think it was when Kourtney was on. Man, that the post game, it was like 2 questions maybe with Nancy. There was just so much there of like what he made, what he created in this team. And
it's crazy.
I can't wait to talk about
you know
it with
what
you guys.
You know what's a bummer is that Steve Sirk is not normally writing for the team like he was in the past. So we won't have, like, I feel like before we talk about best season ever, I got to go plow through a massive season. And just, I love his books and how it's like his little notes and things. And there won't be anything like that for the season, unfortunately, that I'm aware
he's
of.
like a fly on the wall, just absorbing everything around like certain seasons and stuff like that, like little nuances and stuff like that. Like we won't have that. I do want to shout out the Columbus Crew media team. Like right before we hopped on this pod, there was like this slow motion video from the ground level of Yao's goal as he scores and runs over, and it like zooms in on his face. Like the shots they've gotten and like the job they've done, it has been exceptional in my opinion. Like it's been like crazy. So go back through and look at like, if you just scroll down through the Columbus Crew Twitter, the videos, the audio, the whole thing, the whole, like, again, that all I feel like boils down to the organization, and Bez has been like light years above everybody else. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Like absolute pro.
Yet somehow the league still can't get a good offside view.
Or show replays during play.
Yeah, why don't they employ our employees? Like, we're doing a great job, and you have like one drone that's flying around with like, get out of here, man. All right, so last thought was Cucho for Prez, which we've deduced is actually Cucho. He says, thoughts on if Cucho, Aiden, and Nancy, etc. are going to Europe. I'm assuming we're just leaving, and I think we'll settle that on a different pod. That'll get its own.
Yeah, that could be
possibly. Possibly. There you go.
I think they could all. They all could go to Europe. They're good enough to do that. We just have to wait and see. What their intentions are in Columbus, and I think a lot of that hinges on Nancy and his future goals. So we will talk about that in the future. There was a Cirque. Is it a Cirque stat? Could you call it a Cirque stat? Did you want to go through that real quick?
Cirque quote.
Oh yeah, it's a decent amount.
It's been like
a clip for a Cirque quote.
Yeah, I've been like into sticking it to Cincinnati fans lately. I noticed.
Man, and I tell you what, we talked earlier throughout other pods and like how we're like, we don't like hate Cincy like we hate Austin. But I tell you what, ever since that last game, it did what it needed to do. And now I'm just like, the entire time I'm just like, I just want to tweet at Cincy all day. Just like, hey, man.
No, dude. I disagree with you. And again, we can talk about this later because I know we're kind of long here, but like, I don't hate Cincy more. I think Cincy hates us more.
Oh,
like,
100%.
Why would we hate Cincy more?
Did you see Cincy congratulated the Crew on the championship?
No.
Oh, did they?
Why would they do that?
No.
Yes.
Why would they do that?
I have no idea.
That tweet was from 2020. Before they probably
it would be insane for them to congratulate us.
Yeah, that someone would get fired for that. 100%.
Yeah. 100%.
I think it was a tweet that was like retweeted, and the original date on that tweet is from 2020.
Speaking of that, and I don't think we'll touch more on this. I do want to get to the Cirque stat, but I just want to interject really fast while I'm thinking about it. That 3252 or whoever the supporter group is for LA, we were walking out of the stadium and we were on the bridge going to the boathouse, and they were in front of me. There was like 10 of them, and I just like tapped one on the shoulder, and he looked at me, and I was just like, hey man, great game. I just wanted to say, like, I think that, that fine and all this stuff for the smoke is absolutely like ridiculous. And he turned around, and I swear I thought he was going to hit me. And he goes, yeah, I was like, oh, and I stopped, and he stopped, and he said, everybody, he's like, I'm so mad about the game, but everyone here has been so nice, and I just want to hate you and then he just gave me a huge hug, and like all
he was
9 other people.
You are all just so ugly. Why can't you guys make yourselves look like us?
They were very pretty. But he was just like,
so sad. I'm so sad right now.
Yeah, and all night, like literally all of them turned around and they were just like, yeah, we've had the greatest time. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand. And I'm like, we're the Midwest. He's like, that's what we keep saying is like, you guys are just like a different breed. I'm like, yeah, you're from Southern California.
That was
like,
honestly one of the coolest things is like when their supporter section was going, and then like it actually charged up Nordecke a little bit to do like almost a call and response thing. And there were times like during cheering, like in the middle of Nordecke, and you would hear their section going.
They did,
and then we would just get louder.
Yeah,
it was cool.
And we can touch on the.
They had a pretty good showing.
Later,
they had a good showing for sure.
Yeah,
they did. I mean,
they're actual fans,
want to see
not the.
We were
like
glad to see them
on the side,
and glad that they got to see the original black and gold.
Talking about showing,
the one and only.
Talking about showing.
Oh, here we go.
Great tifo.
Good, great tifo. But we need a good showing on Tuesday. But why do they have it at lunch? Because
ridiculous.
I can't make it down there.
Oh, parade.
Yeah, the parade's at noon on Tuesday.
Read the Cirque stat, Ben.
This is Steve Cirque, and this is a Cirque stat.
On behalf of everyone and anyone directly or indirectly associated with hashtag Crew96, I'd like to apologize to all for Cincy, hashtag all for Cincy, for taking 2 years to even up the stars and spoons. We were totally in sync in 2020. Then after your third spoon, we were a little lax in getting our third star. Put it on my gravestone.
This is a hard troll. From Cirque.
Yeah.
Well done, Cirque.
Love it.
So Cincy has they have 0. How many stars do they have? 0 stars.
0.
They have 3 wooden spoons.
Wait, hold on. Do we need to check? I think
let's go ahead and
check that again.
Let me Google it real fast.
Yep. Let's count. Yeah, we're done.
Still 0.
But we have that
right.
supporter shield.
We see that,
use it
that
as
Cincy
a
has 0 stars. And
one of those.
But they do have 3 wooden spoons, which is the award given to the team that finishes last in the supporters shield race. And we've now matched them with 3 stars. I will thank you, Cirque, for that stat. Thank you, Cirque, for the troll. It's great. I love love adding to this rivalry. Again, I don't feel more animosity to Cincinnati because we won the game, but like you got to know that there's going to be more heat because of the game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
When we play them in the future. Before we go, and we've said it a couple times here, we are going to talk more about this season on future pods. When I was, the stat that they kept throwing out was that the Crew was like the 3rd team to get their 3rd star. And I was sitting back and thinking like, yeah, but like DC has 4. They haven't gotten a star since 2004, I think. The only other team that has 3 stars or more is the Galaxy with 5. And like, as I was like passing out last night, I was just kind of just thinking about, I don't know whether the part, I was thinking about how much potential this team has. And I just kind of uttered to my wife, I was like, we can have the most stars. Like we could get more stars than the Galaxy. And she
like our
said,
family? And you're like, oh, no.
That's a lot. That's a lot of stars. Right?
That's a lot.
I was like, of course she knew what I meant, but like, I think we can get to 6. I don't know if we can get to incalculable number over like billions and trillions.
Milky Way.
Right. But anyway, just an incredible game. Glad to talk through it with you guys tonight. Awesome to have all of our special guests tonight.
Yeah,
big thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you for what you do. Like everybody that came on is like an integral part of
Darby from Aces Radio, Pete from New to Crew. We had Kourtney and Bird. Kourtney, the official clock lady. Columbus Crew. Kourtney Sullivan and Bird. And Bird,
finally, Bird. Was that the first time all 6 of us have been together? I know Bird and I.
I've never seen him before. So. I've never seen Bird.
I've seen Bird before, but that was
first Bird sighting. I've never seen a bird before.
All right.
Never seen a bird before.
Robots. They're all robots.
Bird with bunny ears. Bird with bunny ears.
Hey, Oz, keep the bird conspiracy theories on your other podcast where you tell the best jokes in the world. Guys, this has been an incredible season.
Oh, yes.
Let's keep it going. We're going to be back next week. But until then, go Crew! Go!
Champions.
Thanks everyone for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!
Wise men say.
just don't edit this podcast. Just publish it as it.
Please do edit it.
Yeah,
or just don't publish it.